Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today you join me with Apollo, where I am going to be visiting the very special private preview of their new car. It's just been named the Intensa Emozione, Intense Emotion, and today we're going to get an opportunity to see the new car, see the covers come off for the very first time ever, and then I'll be shown around the car by some of the members of the team to talk about it. So let's not wait around, let's get started and go and check out the new car. Behind this door lies the covered car, but let's have a first glance at it. And you can see that shape, that sort of outline and silhouette that just gives you a sense of purpose. Look at the size of the rear wing and the aggression. There's a scoop on the top, and this cover is about to be taken off. And we're going to see what it looks like. But even actually seeing it like this is quite exciting. But let's get this cover pulled back and see the car properly out and uncovered. Here we go then. First look at this, the clear carbon, the aggression of it. Look at the way this works around the front, the headlights sort of buried inside all of that aerodynamic side of things, and the way the side of the car, the profile, just looking around this, the wing, the way it's sort of top mounted. I didn't see that with the fin. The exhaust, we had a teaser of the exhaust before. You can see the heat shield, the way it's so open. It's sort of diffuser race car-like. Look at every part of this design going around it. And the wheel design is so sort of hollowed out, all the sort of empty spaces, obviously to do with making the car lightweight and track orientated. And this is sort of naturally aspirated V12 and lightweight as well. But wow, my word. We're going to see all of this in a moment in more detail. But this is incredible. Just trying to take it all in right now. Okay. Let's find out a little bit more and get shown around this. My goodness. Now to show us around the car and take us for a little bit of a walk around, I'm joined by Joe from Design at Apollo. And firstly, this looks incredible.
Thank you, Tim.
Well, thank you for sort of creating this and allowing me to come and have a look at it today. But, I mean, you're starting from the ground up. This was a blank sheet of paper.
It was indeed, yes.
How do you go about creating this? How do you do the design for it?
Well, the vehicle is inspired heavily by nature. Mm-hmm. So, in the animal kingdom, we see a lot of predators that are highly evolved and highly efficient. You know, we have a lot of marine animals, you know, very dynamic shapes. We try to apply this all over the car, even insects as well. You have to give it maximum efficiency.
Okay, and I mean, just standing here as we come around the side, you see the sort of shape of the rear wing, and that must be your favourite part of the car, I guess.
Yes, it is probably one of my favourite parts of the car, yes.
I mean, how do you create that design and that sort of unique style for it?
We really wanted to create something that was, you know, unique to the brand, you know, doing some things or doing a lot of things that other companies haven't really suggested otherwise. But you know, we tried to create an identity for ourselves, which is really difficult, you know, in the automotive industry at this point. Trying to have something that is alluring at the same time with incredible performance and efficiency.
And I mean, just looking around the car now, I can see that sort of all the cutaways, for example, here behind the front arch. Mm-hmm. You've had to, I guess, work on both fronts in terms of airflow through the car, but also in terms of design to keep it looking visually very sort of attractive and dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so open up the wheels gives you a really sense of a lightweight body. So this is what we're trying to capture with this car. You know, very track-orientated race car sort of feel to it. So we have a lot of heavy aerodynamic pieces everywhere. This is obviously for performance reasons. The open up wheels gives you incredible airflow to the side intakes and also relieves a lot of pressure that is building up within the wheel well. Mm-hmm. So we basically opened up everything to create as much air flowing through the car as possible, not just over, but just through everywhere of the car.
And I mean, even sort of parts like the door mirrors, small details which follow off the back of these louvres on the sort of arch, which I guess again is for the release of airflow. They look like they sort of naturally fit into the swooping side.
The mirrors actually have an interesting detail. They have cameras built in as well at the same time. Okay. So to create, you know, a usable mirror and also camera to fit within the regulations is quite difficult, but we managed to create a really efficient form.
Okay, I'm just going to come in and see that, yeah. Camera lurking right there. Very neat. And then, I mean, coming around to the rear, because I haven't really come round the back here so much yet. I mean, everything is completely open.
Yeah.
And the shape of the exhaust, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, again, this is for, brand identity. We needed to do something that was different, that was effective, and, that was really fresh, so...
I mean, it ticks all of those boxes. I've never seen anything created like that.
Yeah, particularly the rear section, you see a lot of, surfaces that have real depth to them. They're not graphical design pieces, but every element is styled, with sculpturally minded.
Okay, awesome. Wow, it looks amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Moving on now to the engineering and the engine side of this, I'm joined by Ugo to show us through a little bit. So can we talk about the engine, the power plant?
Of course. The engine is extremely interesting. It's a 6.2 liter, 12 cylinder, and it has more than 800 horsepower at 8,800 RPM.
Okay, that's
So-
quite a high rev limit.
Oh, absolutely, yes. In order to achieve such a high performance, it was necessary a very accurate development of the intake system and the exhaust system. You can see here the engine bay, and you can see how there is also a carbon structure frame in the back, specifically designed in order to leave a lot of space for the air intake, which is this. In order to allow a very good efficiency and performance of the engine, of the intake.
Okay. So just for the viewers, we've lifted off the sort of engine
Sure.
panel over the top here. Now the sort of weight side of the car, obviously there is a lot of extensive use of carbon fiber. Lightweight is key.
Absolutely. And also a lot of very performing material, carbon fiber, okay, first, and then titanium, high strength steel, aluminium, and so on, so that we could achieve a weight in the range of 1,200 kilograms for the complete car.
Okay.
Which is extremely good result.
Yes, and I mean that's obviously working in sync with the downforce, and you must be looking at some very strong downforce.
Absolutely. You can see how extreme is the rear wing, the beautiful shape designed by Joe. So we were able to work really together. It was a great example of teamwork. And with this beautiful shape, we also had the possibility to reach a very big downforce. At 300 kph, we have more than 1,000 kilogram downforce.
More than 1,000 kilograms.
Oh, yes.
So that is a large animal, or it's more than an elephant. Or
Absolutely, yes. And this is essential to have very high performances in the bending. So to have very high performances on a test track.
And if I walk us back round towards the front, I'm going to come back to the interior in a moment because that's quite extreme on its own. I mean, it must be on the sort of downforce side of things around the front. You have to work very hard to create the right sort of aerodynamic flow.
Absolutely, yes. It was really, again, here, very interesting development. You see there is a big splitter, like very similar to the race car, what the race car has. And it was also very important to have a lot of airflow in order to cool properly the engine. And so the mix of the combination of factor gives a very good balance of the downforce between front and rear. We have about 45% of the downforce on the front and 55% on the rear, which is extremely good balance.
Okay. And I mean, the way the sort of, it's something I really like, the way the headlights are integrated into that sort of whole shape is...
Headlight was another challenge, really.
Yeah.
When I saw the design of Joe, I said, oh my dear, I don't know what we can do. And then it was possible to develop extremely nice, I think, headlamp representing exactly the design of Joe, but efficient. This is respecting all the parameters for homologation. So these lamps and tail lamps can be used for a road legal car.
Yes, and that's something to emphasize. This is a car that can wear a number plate and be driven on the road.
Exactly.
As well as presumably quite a lot of fun out on a racetrack too.
Sure. This was another big challenge, to have extremely high performances, but compatible with a road legal car that can be driven on the road.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Let us take a look at the interior then, and I'm rejoined by Joe. Thank you very much to talk us through this because, well, first thing is you have the gullwing style doors,
Yes.
which give an awesome sort of presence to the car. But coming in close, you have designed this completely in a new way. The seats are all quite clearly part of the tub underneath it.
Yes.
But the steering wheel design, the screens with the camera screens presumably
the
at the side.
camera
I
screens,
mean,
yeah.
talk me through this, what we're looking at.
So so the interior we have a carbon interior. So it's like a carbon monocell. On top of this, we have this very delicate cocoon style interior with all the red padding that you see in here. So the idea was basically it followed from the very first origins of the first Apollos. They had the interior which are padded, so it's like a padded carbon shell inside. So we evolved this idea into something that's like completely radical and different. So each individual pad will be catered and bespoke for like the measurements of every individual customer and client.
Okay.
So all these pads are customizable, and the illumination of the monocell as well gives this again very lightweight feel to the
A
interior.
very sporty feeling, aggressive feel. And I also note how reclined the sort of seating position is. It's
so
very low, hardcore.
Exactly. So this is obviously again derived from the racing side of things. So the LMP1s and F1 cars. So we took advantage of the monocell that we have and created a seating position that's very similar to the race cars to give you the race car feel.
Yeah, and the steering wheel does that too. The shape and setup of the steering wheel. I noticed
Yes,
how
of
all the
course,
buttons are immediately accessible.
Yes, so you have basically everything, all the driver controls, all the knobs. Yeah, your access to all your keys.
Ooh, that sounded good.
Yeah.
So the gearbox, that was a proper sort of sequential kind of
Yes, it is. Yes.
click in there. The noise it made was amazing. And then you've got all the digital displays in the center.
Yeah, so we have three digital displays. One is basically for all the driver information, all your water, temperature, and all that. And then you've got your two camera screens, so one on each side, to give you the optimum rear view. Because with a car like this and with the proportions of this car, it's going to be extremely difficult to see around. So we try to optimize the visual side of things with technology.
Yeah, well, from what I can see, the cabin is truly something spectacular. Just look at that view you have forwards.
Very welcoming. Yes.
Yeah, it's completely new design because it's very race car inspired, but it also looks quite sort of comfortable and appealing.
Yeah, you can almost slide into this car pretty much. Yeah.
Just have to step over a very wide sill.
Yeah.
Part and parcel. Well, that interior is just mega. Thank you very much. This is really cool. So I'm going to go on a last little walk around the car and pick out some details you might have noticed or some other sort of features that stand out to me. And the first thing is the intakes here and the subframe as well are all finished in dark red, the dark red carbon fibre. Very much the beating heart of the car back there. And then if I come down towards the wheels here, I really do like this wheel design. It's very, very neat with the centre locks naturally. AP Racing brakes tucked in there. You can just come through and see sort of all the big radiators obviously in the side, all for the cooling, but all the airflow. If you look down here, everything is designed for sort of airflow and aerodynamics. And the way we were sort of talking about earlier, how open it is, how open this sort of part of the car is behind the front wheel, is really quite impressive. And then look through here, look at the way it's sort of completely just opened up, and we've got the lights on now as well, so you can see that front design with the sort of running light style. Very aggressive down towards the front. Just if I put the camera down here, you can see that. That is really quite something down there. And then the carbon finish, the way the weave obviously lines up here perfectly at the front towards the Apollo logo, is just something else as well. My goodness, it's pretty breathtaking. And look at the inside in a bit more detail too, the way the pads work, the harnesses. It's just, you can see straight through to the red carbon back there as well. All the finish, it's amazing. The handles, they spot over on the other side, are a really cool bit of design as well for the door handles, and the way you have this sort of floating section in the center, making the driver's sort of part of the cabin very, very focused. It sort of feels and looks to me, driver first, which is what a car like this should be, but this is road legal. This is a road legal machine, and yeah, I'm a little bit lost for words. Could you imagine what this would be like? What a phenomenal thing, and we're going to see more of it in due course, so make sure you watch this space. But this has been a pretty special opportunity to come along to the first ever showing and preview of this car and create this video to share it with you guys. Wow, just absolutely wow. I mean, I could spend forever looking around here, just taking in every detail. I think I'll wrap this one up for there. Obviously, there will be more with this car in the future, so make sure you stay tuned, come back and check it out, and I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you. But a big thanks to the team at Apollo for firstly allowing me to come along today and share this with you, secondly for making it in the first place, and yeah, it's just crazy. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the first look at the Apollo Intensa Emozione. This has been awesome. I will catch up with you though again in the future with more on this car, so do watch this space. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.